We're here on this architectural renovation project. We're mid-construction right now. We're gonna go through, see how the drywall and paint is looking, and see if the cabinetry is installed. We have a garage addition with a living space above the garage, separated from the house by a walkway area. So we have the main house here on the right side, which we're adding only windows and doors to, plus siding. And then the addition that we designed is on the left, which is the lower garage, upper living space. Let's see inside. All these windows and doors, by the way, what we're doing with this project, all these windows and doors, this is going on the existing house. So since we renovated the new addition, all of the windows and doors are now on the black trim, white inside. So we are changing all of the siding on the existing home and all of the windows on the existing home. That'll probably come when all the snow melts, make it a bit easier. We have the drywall on, standing, finishing the sanding, getting the paint going, and let's go into above the garage portion. So now we can start to actually visualize things, right? So we have the kitchen area on the left side here. Went with industrial fridges, industrial like dishwasher, ice machine, countertops. So we're having the kitchen island here, which is gonna be a great entertaining spot for this space. And then across this side is where the golf simulator is going, right? So this is above the garage area, but this is gonna be the golf simulator. Last time we were here, this was all framed and you saw installation and everything. So vaulted ceilings, golf simulator on this wall, I believe. And then we're having the 2 bar tops over there and then still matching windows on both sides. This is an Ecobee thermostat. I have one in my house. I really like it. And I'm finding when the HVAC guys that are installing newer systems, they're going with a more Ecobee electronic, smart home friendly system. So this system here, you can have it on your phone. You can schedule when heat comes on and off daily, morning, evening, whatever you'd like to do. And then also like when you're not at home, you can check on the heat of the house, cooling of the house. I know I use mine the one thing I really like mine is I have animals. So when I have animals at my house and the house gets really warm, or if it gets too cold and I'm out, I can look at my phone, turn it up or down, and it's really helpful. So I do really like these systems. They're really nice. It's the new tech that's coming in. Yeah. But yeah, bathroom, we went walk-in shower, built-in unit. So we just slided it in. Didn't want to do any tile work in here since this is mostly going to be a secondary bathroom that people are using in and out, not too much. So we just went with a built-in tub unit there. Toilet, standard sink. Yeah, just a nice second bathroom to have in this addition where everyone will be hanging out, guests, entertainment, all of that jazz, which is awesome. The client actually got this fridge from Costco, is what he said. Decent price over at Costco. And it is like, it's phenomenal. It's actually really nice looking. I like the stainless steel look to it. I like how it is looking industrial, especially in this area. This isn't their main kitchen. This is the kind of secondary, well, entertainment area space. So I think it kind of flows well. Like the client was saying, we were just talking with him in the golf simulator area here. We're going to have 1 bar top that's going to be on this side. And he was just mentioning to us that he's going to be taking a sheet of stainless steel, try and bend it, maybe do some welds on it. And then that's going to match the kitchen look with all the stainless steel that we have here. And then island that's going here, we're doing waterfall island, quartz countertop waterfall island. It's going to be a white quartz with a little bit of gray into it, as we went with a seamless gray for the cabinetry. I'm really glad we cut this island right where the ceiling line starts for the cathedral ceiling, because as you walk into this living area with the TV, we're gonna have some couches over here. It feels like the designated space, which when you have that wide open space and you can designate these areas without having actual walls in place, once you get into the finished product, the finished structure, you can actually start to feel it come alive, which is awesome. I'm not actually sure what sink that they decided to go with, because we're gonna have to notch out this cabinetry and then put the sink in here. And the quartz countertops, white quartz with gray specks, is gonna come over all of this and then match the island area with the waterfall. So any deck above 24 inches, you need railings on. Anyone who is doing a house that is even low profile and they want a deck more so low to the ground, if it's above the 24-inch mark, you do need the railings. Anything below the 24-inch mark, you can get away with no railings. So this deck here, obviously, being this high up, we're gonna have railings on, but mid-construction, it's just not finished. We wanna get the siding on first. So now that the siding's on, we can start doing the exterior railing portions, and we're gonna be matching the existing. So once the railings come in for not just this side of the house, but also the addition, then yeah, it's gonna look really good. This is now the breezeway finished. So as we were saying when we were here last time, this is all just wood stud, and technically this was open. So you couldn't feel the depth on how high this was gonna be. Also, they have finished this accent wall, went with vertical wood with the accent wall here to change some materials up in the space. We were just chatting a bit with the client. We're actually extremely excited that we went with these upper windows in the space because the sun is on the backside. It is -10 outside right now, and it's probably 28 degrees in the space because of the front windows hitting the home. And this is one of the issues where when people want these bigger picture windows and they don't, every time we go to design an upper awning window in a home, they kind of veer away from it. But if you want these bigger picture windows and because they're not operable, it's actually a great idea to have these in here because like we were talking about, we're gonna open that side of the awning windows out. We also have them on this side, open this up, bring the breeze through, and then it's gonna cool this space down very efficiently. We're just speaking with the client as well, we're gonna be putting a barn door on this wall. But what we're saying is, so that space is gonna be one temperature. This space might get this space will definitely get warmer than the other spaces. So what he's thinking about doing is putting a seal stop, even though it's a barn door. So we'll have a barn door on this wall, so this wall won't just be blank, and it'll add some depth to the area. Once we close the barn door, we'll put a seal stop around here, so it actually seals the air in this part of the home. So that part of the home doesn't get as warm all the time than this part of the home does. And then come in, open the windows, let it breeze when needed. Everyone knows the on-wall mini splits, right? And the mini split can produce heat or cooling, where this gets ducted into a furnace that's inside, and then you have the ducting in your floor and in your walls, which produces the cooling and heating for the whole home. So these are the newer units. There are older units, which are the big square units, but I believe these are definitely the newer ones for sure. This is metal siding, it's not vinyl, and I love metal siding. I have metal siding on my house. If I can design with metal siding, it can bring a lot of interesting character to the home, the amount of detail that we have and profiles that we can do. And overall, I think it definitely will last longer than a vinyl siding. The thing about metal siding though, that you should take into account for is do not grind the siding. There's a special tool, like you can see here, here's some shavings. Here's some shavings with the siding. What it is the special cutting tool that literally will trim the siding up and then leave this. So do not take a grinder to the siding, do not take a chop saw to the siding, spend the time, get the money, get this tool, because especially if you're doing siding close to the house, and if someone just messes up once and they're cutting the siding close to the house, please don't put it next to a window. You'll get sparks on your window, and then that'll actually burn the glass in the window. So spend the money on the tool, do it properly, do it correct if you're installing metal siding. So when we were designing the structure, we wanted to separate the upper level by the lower level. And we didn't want to just use a typical band. A lot of buildings that you can see, they'll be mostly square, they'll put an 8 or 10-inch band on the strip that's separating both sidings. We actually wanted to give a bit of depth of it. So we did I think 6 inches on that overhang. Wasn't too much, but you can see, and it looks really clean where the break is in the bottom siding, and it's not separated just by the band, but it gives more depth on that upper portion, especially with the bigger windows spanning the whole way across. In other countries, they mostly design with concrete. and I get this a lot because I talk with other designers from other countries, and there's a lot of concrete. The thing with concrete, when you're designing with concrete, is like you can engineer that slab, you can engineer that overhang. You have a 10-foot, you know, crazy overhangs, amazing architecture, right? So you can only go so far with wood until you get a structural engineer involved with the wood framing and the wood engineering on it. And a lot of people don't want to go through that process. They just go, hey, I want some depth. I want to, you know, add a bit of an overhang on here. What's the maximum overhang we can go? Let's say it's 600 millimeters or 300 millimeters in the code. Then you can only go that far before you need an engineer. But even then, like, what's a stronger overhang, concrete or wood? I guess it's debatable, but I'm not debating it. I'm just I'm just saying you can put rebar in concrete, but you can certainly strap down wood. We were doing a garage one time, and the deck came out 6 feet. The deck came out 6 or 7 feet, and they didn't want any posts because of how the garage was. Like, for instance, we have a garage door there. They didn't want any posts. So the deck came out 6 to 7 feet. We got an engineer to design it. Everything was right, connection points were good. Apparently, when they were standing on the very far portion of the deck, it was like, you know, a little bit wobbly, like it was a little bit bouncy, and they weren't too impressed with it. Even though the deck was engineered, even though everything was done correctly, they could feel a bit of flex. So that's why we can only do so much with overhangs here in Atlantic Canada, because of our wood construction. And it's interesting because here in Atlantic Canada, wood is cheaper than concrete, but everywhere else in the world, wood is, well, not everywhere else, but some countries, wood is more expensive than concrete. So if you were to do a high-end luxury home somewhere else in the world, you'd actually want it to be made out of wood. Where if you did a higher-end luxury home over here in Atlantic Canada, you'd want to have more concrete instead of actual wood. So it's like the total opposite, I think, because of imports and products. Here's the thing about a glass house, because I did my house in mostly glass. It's all glass tiny home. And then one thing I didn't realize is you'll be sitting at home, everything outside is white, the sun is beaming on the snow, and then you're inside blinded the whole time because of all the glass. So I had to get shades immediately. If you have a lot of glass in your home and you are living somewhere where it is winter, add shades to the glass because it might get a bit blindy inside the house, especially if you're living there for a while. Or if you're in those zones, I should say, right? They wanted a more farmhouse style feel. So we went with the typical white vertical siding with some wood accents everywhere, as we did wood and such. And then last minute, they changed it up to the vertical on bottom, and then horizontal, more natural blonde wood on top. So we're keeping the wood feel to it. Like originally we had vertical white farmhouse feel, black accents, and then lighter beams and lighter placed woods everywhere. But I don't know if we're going with the lighter placed woods anymore. I think we're just sticking with that vertical on the lower half, and then we're gonna go with the horizontal on the upper half, but in the wood tone, the lighter wood tone. So one of the reasons why the client for this specific build decided to go with us is because we were very responsive. We were very responsive to his wants, his needs. We were very responsive to his ideas. We were on time, on schedule with the things that we were accomplishing for designs. He's had contractors on this project, and there was no time for that, so we had to switch some things up with certain contractors, where we gave him our full attention for this project. We also gave him full visuals for what this was going to look like before the project was even started. So once we designed the floor layout, once we designed the addition, the garage, the site layouts, the sun orientation path, we then had the renders involved with that process. So once I showed them the renders, it was just, it's exactly, they could see the project exactly what it was going to look like at the top of the hill when they were driving down into the driveway. We tried to give as much value as we can up front before they even wanted to make a decision, so then they could make the most educated decision to secure their investment on how they're going to move forward. If you'd like to work with us, if you'd like to be partners with us, if you would like to start a project and collaborate with us, please like and subscribe to our YouTube. like and subscribe to all of our social medias. If you'd like to get personally in contact with us, send us an email at info@innovadesignstudio.ca. Go check out our website at innovadesignstudio.ca. All of our information and a little more about us is over there. So if you'd like to get involved, if you'd like us to start your project and hopefully be on site towards the end of your project, send us a message.